All right, everyone. We are back for another episode of TMP, and my special guest today is straight from Canada on Zoom, two-time Classic Physique Olympia champ, Chris Bumstead. My man. Good to see you, brother.
Man? Yeah, too happy to be on the show.
It's going great, man, and of course I got you on the show, so that's extra fun for me because I like to talk to people that are interesting, and you are very interesting, not only because you're Chris Bumstead, but because you're also the two-time champ, and you live in Canada. I see you guys had to move. I don't know where you're originally from in Canada, but you guys moved somehow to Vancouver so you guys can get your training in. Is that happening?
Well, we're all, me and my family are from Ottawa. We just visited Vancouver for a month. So we're actually back in Ottawa now, but we were out on the West Coast for four and a bit weeks just because there was no gyms right here. So we had to go find an open gym.
So in Ottawa, the gyms were still closed?
Yeah, all of Ontario, the province where I'm at, which is a huge province, everything's still shut down. They're just slowly starting to open right now.
So are you guys able to train it while you're back, or do you have to...
Yeah, there's like a rule that some gyms can open if they have professional athletes training or if you have a doctor's note. So we're going to a gym like that, but they're technically not open to the public.
Got you. Okay, so that law wasn't intact before, so that's why you guys left for Vancouver.
Exactly, yeah.
So why would they open in Vancouver and not on the other side of Canada?
I mean, it's the same as in the U.S. Your
Same
states
thing.
do it all differently, so our provinces do it all differently, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought Canada, everything was the same. That's why you guys are still so strict. I mean, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, I think right now are still the only three countries that have all kind of restrictions and basically still close.
We never had a big outbreak, so it's just been this like slow, steady shutdown of nothing for a long time.
It's the same in Australia. I think they just shut down Melbourne again for 7 to 10 days for 2 cases.
Yeah.
It's over.
Crazy.
As soon as they see somebody sick, it's over. They're shutting down.
I know. It's going to be a long time till you have 0 cases consistently. So,
so
hopefully something changes.
Are they vaccinating over there in Canada, or they're just?
They are. Yeah, they are.
Are you getting it?
I mean, I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe, but right now, I'm just kind of letting everyone who wants to get in there first.
I don't think I would worry a lot in Canada either because there's not a lot of cases. The only reason why I got it is because I want to travel, and eventually this country's going to mandate for you to get vaccinated before they let you enter. It's coming. I'm 100% convinced by the end of the year, most countries.
Already in Canada, we have a quarantine when you come back here. So if I go to the States and I come back, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks and spend 3 days in a hotel. And they're saying vaccinated people won't have to do that quarantine, but non-vaccinated still will have to do that. So it's kind of like a travel restriction.
Even as a Canadian citizen, you have to quarantine? You can't do it in your own home?
So you have to come back and do 3 days in a hotel, get a COVID test, and then you finish the rest of the 2 weeks in your own home.
Oh, okay. So, and what about tourists? There's no tourists, right? No entry for tourists.
No, the borders are closed right now to tourism.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, fuck COVID. Let's not talk about COVID too much. I don't care about COVID.
Next subject.
Yeah, let's talk about Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead, two-time Physique Olympia champ, growing up in Canada. I mean, I remember seeing pictures of you. Wow, that was so long ago, before you turned pro. There's this one picture that I had on my phone of you standing in somewhere in the room hitting a front lat spread. And I remember at that time, and I don't know if you followed this in the beginning when you started competing as a pro, I always said this is the future of Classic Physique. I don't know if you said that, if you saw that.
I didn't know.
You didn't? Yeah.
I wish I did.
No. I said this, and I remember the first year we had Classic Physique. Let me not mess this up right now. We had what's his name winning from California.
Danny Hester.
Danny Hester won out of nowhere. He came as the oldest competitor on that stage and won the Olympia. And I don't know if you were there that year. I don't think so.
No, I wasn't.
But you came the next year.
That was the year I turned pro, actually.
Right, but you came the next year.
I was competing in bodybuilding as an amateur, and then I got my pro card that same year in bodybuilding, and then I made the switch.
Okay, where did you get your pro card? That was somewhere out of the country.
No, the North Americans.
Oh, you did the North Americans.
Yeah, I actually came second to Justin Rodriguez in the overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made me look like a child too. I was like 6'1", 5 inches taller than him, and like 40 pounds, 30 pounds lighter too.
Wow. Well, I thought for whatever reason, I thought you went somewhere else. But I think that maybe that was Iain. Maybe that was
Iain was in Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, see that maybe that's what I was thinking. Yeah, but anyway, so I remember when you came on the scene, and I guess there was a 2-year Breon one, 2 years, you know, and you got second to Breon, and before that show, I said, you know, I kept saying, I said, Bumstead is the future of classic physique. I believe that he has what it takes, you know, and Breon edged you out, and I remember there was this. No, it was a year later. Of course, you came back, and then you beat Breon by, I think, 1 point that 1 year. Mm-hmm. And there was, I remember, there was this huge thing going on social media where Chris got pissed or thought that he got robbed, that Breon got robbed, and you basically, it was not so much you, but I guess it was all the Canadian fans and all the worldwide fans that it went so big, and I remember looking at that. But at the end, you know, whatever I predicted came true because you won the Classic Physique Olympia in 2019, and then you came back in 2020. And what you did from 2019 to 2020 is nothing short of amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing how you can improve and make your weak body parts. Which were weak. I mean, in the beginning, I remember
they were.
We said when you turned around, Breon beats him. That's why he won. You know, we said the back. But you changed that around and make back one of your stronger body parts. Literally, in 1 year, your back is your back. One of your best poses, I mean, for me, personally, is your front lat spread and your back double biceps now. You know, what did you? Tell me, how did that go about? How did you turn around in 1 year, come back, not only much improved, but also your confidence was on a different level? And how did you do that?
I mean, it was definitely a lot of factors. Part of it being I was the number one person saying that I had weak points, and then my back and my arms were a weak point, and it was like ingrained in my brain for that whole year after. And I was like, okay, I won once. Now I got to really prove that I deserve to be up here. And I had gone through some health complications in the past, and 2019 was my first year where I was like healthy, but I was a little anxious and like nervous that it would come back, and I wasn't like 100% mentally there. But I got through and I won. And then the next year I was like, fuck it, I can't live in the past. I have to get over this shit, just give everything. And my body just responded to being in a better mindset. My mental state was just like way more confident. And that just translated into my training, into my consistency, like my recovery was able to be better from like the lack of stress. And I just had such a great year of training and off season. And when prep came again, everything went smooth. And I haven't had a smooth prep in like 5 years. Whether torn muscles in the hospital, something sick, like happening. And then 2020 was my first year where it was just smooth. So like my body was just waiting for that opportunity to have a proper off season. I'm also pretty young, so I'm still at an age where I can pack on muscle pretty quickly. So the combination of all that just really played its toll, and me knowing that my back had to come up, I kind of went back to the drawing board. I was like, okay, I can deadlift 600-700 pounds. I can row 300-400 pounds, but I'm not rowing. Switch it up. I dropped the weights, changed my exercises, kind of like practice posing within my training so I could get a better mind-muscle connection. And all those things kind of compiled together into what you saw on stage, and it was just a great year.
But that's scary. Just to hear that, that's scary for all the other competitors, because that's 1 year. Yeah. I mean, the progress that you made, if you would show me pictures from 2019 and 2020, and I would have to guess how much time is in between. I'd say at least a couple of years. Yeah. You know, it's almost unheard of that someone can improve that much. You go not even improve that much. It's going from a weak body part to a great body part. That's where my mind is like, wait a minute, what happened here? You know, but whatever you says makes sense. So when your mind is right and everything falls into place, your body responds much better.
Yeah, and I don't know if this mindset of mine will change at one point, but I just still have this feeling that I'm like just getting started. Yeah. Like I feel like I just caught that uphill, and I'm like, all right, this is the rhythm, like keep chasing after it. And it feels like it's just the beginning. I feel like I still have so much further to go, and I'm like hungry for it. I don't feel like I'm the champ and I'm chilling up top. I literally feel like, okay, you proved what you can do last year. Now you got to do more. So it's a really exciting feeling.
You have everything on your side. You're 26 years old.
Yeah.
I just saw that. I was like, wait a minute. He's 26, which means you won the Olympia at 24.
20, yeah, 24, 25, yeah.
So this doesn't even make sense, okay? For you to be so dominant in your category as you are right now, and you're more dominant now than you were the year before, because as of right now, everybody has, Chris Bumstead has the name, and I'm talking not only in the whole IFBB Pro League, but in the classic physique industry. Looks like people look at you like someone that's not even beatable in the next couple of years by what they. I mean, if you compare yourself with the way you looked last year, and probably the improvements that you're going to make for this year, because you got still weight that you can add on to your cutoff, right? You still have some weight that you can.
Yeah, so I've always been exactly 6'1" and not know what I'm going to height in at. Last year I heighted in at 6'1" and a little over. So and I was going as if I was only 6 foot just to be safe. So I weighed in at like 233, which I could have taken. I was wearing clothes, so probably 230, and I would have made the 230 cutoff. But because I was over 6'1", I can actually be 240. So I have like 8 pounds, 9 pounds almost I could put on, really.
That's a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
That's a lot of muscle. Where's it going?
Yeah.
Where's it going? What are you focusing on?
I mean, back is still something I want to improve on. I know it's improved the most out of everything, but the guys I'm going up against, that's their strongest point, so I want to make sure that's going to be mine as well. And my arms, something I've focused on a lot. I got long arms and short bicep insertions, so I'm trying to put a lot of work into that to kind of bring them up.
How easy is it to stay motivated being Mr. Olympia two times?
So far, it's been pretty damn easy.
Yeah, I was like, do you need any extra motivation? Is there anything else?
I don't need shit, to be completely honest. I just have this like belief that I can be better, and this excitement to be that better version of myself, and it just drives me. And I really try not to burn myself out. Ever since I got to the Olympia, I was like, you want to enjoy this, don't burn your body out, don't push it too far, do one show a year. I would have loved to do the Arnold and all these things. Maybe I will one year, but right now, like, I take months off after I compete. I just chill, I lose a bunch of weight, I let my body recover, and then when I get back, I'm excited to get back into it, catch up, and then have the off season and then the prep. And I think that's really helped both my mind and my body.
Yeah. You said you had some kind of issue with your kidneys at one point?
Yeah, it's an autoimmune disease, so it affects my kidneys when it flares up, and it's been mitigated very well since 2019. There's some simple things I've been doing, a lot of much healthier lifestyle. Yeah. It's something which was scary at the time, and I was like, fuck, like, why is this happening to me now? Like, I had such a big future ahead of me, and it was kind of like a negative thing. And when I was able to see it from a different perspective of like what I could learn from it and make me like a healthier person, first of all, I'm a lot more health conscious now, which will help me long term. And it just made me like kind of appreciate things in a different way.
Gotcha.
And instead of being like, fuck, why is this happening to me? It's like, oh, fuck, like this made me a better version of myself. Mm-hmm. And I've grown from it. And I think that mindset is played into why I stay motivated, why I'm excited to be doing this, and why I've made the improvements I have.
Yeah. It's just like, you always, when you think kidneys, you always think, oh, wow. I mean, if there's any kidney issues, and I don't know about the immune disease, you always think, oh, back off the protein, back off the things that bodybuilders basically need in a high amount. Is that the case in your case, or are you good with eating protein?
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
I've been good with it. It's definitely lower than it used to be. And like when I take that time off, I got really low protein after shows. Mm-hmm. And when I'm in my off season, I weigh like 260 and I may be eating 250 grams of protein, which most people are eating like 300, 400 maybe. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely eating less than most people, but it's sufficient for what I need.
So when you like after the show, when you come off and you let the body recover and you let the kidney rest up, so you just drop your protein down to what?
I don't even know. It's like 100 and something.
Yeah,
like I'll have
almost nothing
a day with a little like fish or something.
Yeah,
just trying to eat like clean, healthy stuff.
And can you tell that this helps? Can you tell that the kidneys they kind of rest up? Can you feel a difference?
I mean, I was never even at a point last year where I felt like they needed rest.
Okay.
I felt healthy the whole way out, but I did get even healthier by doing that. So yeah, it's helping, but I never even got to a point last year where they were in a bad place.
Okay.
And I have like a kidney nephrologist who runs like tests with me every few months and everything. So we're monitoring it, and it has only gotten better since I was diagnosed with it. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's good to see. It's good to see, and it's good to learn, because there might be others with similar issues or kidney issues, and it's always good to see that there's, of course, you got to do it with a doctor to make sure that you monitor the levels, because I think levels can be, different, depending on what you do. But that's awesome. So now, going into 21, I'm sorry. All you got to do is just be Chris Bumstead at the end of the day, because let me point something out from last year, because I was very interested in watching the Classic Physique, especially prejudging, because this is for me the most interesting part of the show. And it was a 2-man show going into the Olympia, but the whole time, you basically, not being cocky, but your confidence, you always basically let it be known that there's no battle. It sounded, you came across as like, wait a minute, I don't know what this guy's thinking. You basically was very confident, and you came out. And when you came out on stage, what impressed me the most was not just the way you looked, but the way you presented, and the way you stand there. You stood there like a champ. You acted like a champ. You didn't let anything get to you, because I see Breon trying to, push a little here and there, but you didn't let that get to you. You just basically stood out. And that confidence, where did that confidence come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of like you said, it was nothing against the other competitors, but it was the first time in my life where stepping on stage, I felt like when we were doing comparisons and everything, I felt like I was alone up there. I was just doing my thing. I was so in the zone, and I was so I knew I was ready that I didn't have to think of anything or anyone else. And that just displayed, as, like you said, confidence on stage. And really it just came from having such a good year leading up, knowing I had put in all the effort I could, controlling my mind from the stress that I had had the years before, to being believing in myself and confident. And then once I saw the end results and how much I had improved, I was I beat myself last year. No one can touch this. Just go on stage and fucking show them what you got. Yeah. And it's what I did. And like you said, it kind of just it wasn't an attempt to do anything. I just felt so at ease and confident with my work that it just displayed as such.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what a champ should do. You had championship mentality when you got on that stage. Were you surprised that Breon ended up in third?
I was a little surprised. And part of that was because, I didn't know who was even coming fourth or fifth. I didn't even know who was in the top 5 for a bit, because I was so, had such tunnel vision. Yeah. And, afterwards, everyone looked amazing, of course, but I just was so focused on myself. I was just, when the time where they were calling your names, I just assumed Breon was going to be second, because he had the year before, and we were our battle. And then when they called him third, I was definitely caught off guard. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, no, I think nobody saw that coming. I think not even Terrence. He was
a little shocked too.
Yeah, he was the happiest bodybuilder I've ever seen after he got second place. But deservingly so, because he looked unbelievable. I mean,
he's awesome. Yeah, I love Terrence.
I just believe, especially in Classic, because if we go back Classic, we got to go all the way back to Arnold's time. I think height with the body is just, for a shorter guy, it's just not beatable if they're both at the same level. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And this is what I feel. And that's why I keep saying now that Chris is not worried at this point. He's not worried until there's some taller guys coming up, And if you look down the lineup, you as the reigning champ, I don't know if you pay attention to the other guys, but I guess you probably would. Do you see anybody that, can be dangerous maybe in the future? I don't think there's a lot that can change in the next year or two. But do you see any potential danger coming from any other athlete than the ones we always talk about when it comes to Classic Physique?
I wouldn't say danger, no. I know, if I keep him at the pace I'm going and I keep just healthy, that I really think that I can stay here. The goal is until I retire. I think someone who people aren't really thinking of is Steve Laureus. He took 1.5 years or 2 years off or something, and I think people just forgot about him. Mm-hmm. But he's tall. He's got a crazy shape. He's like 2 inches shorter than me, but he's like 3 inches taller than most of the other guys. So I think he's gonna come back this year and like remind people who the fuck he is. And he'll be right up there in the top 5, I'm assuming, if he comes in shape.
Beautiful shape too, beautiful.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I would never take it away from the guys because they're shorter. But like you said, if 2 people had the exact same physique and one was 5'6", one was 6'1", you're just going to look at the bigger one. It's the same clone even, you know? So it's definitely, when people talk about genetics, height's part of that. It definitely helps. And I ride that wave. I try and look as tall and big as possible when I'm on stage and kind of own that height. But other than that, I think it's going to be the same few guys, kind of Breon, Terrence battling up there. I think Steve will pop his way in. And
what about the guy that got 5th last year, Brian Jones?
Brian he looks unreal. There's a few like his quads and a few body parts which don't have a lot of like separation, whether that's kind of muscle maturity is going to come soon or what. But his shape is something that like I can't compete with shape like that. I don't have those genetics. I have kind of more height and size. So again, you never know how someone's going to show up, but I know I can keep getting better, and I believe it'll be at a quicker rate than they can.
So that's the confidence that champions should have. I mean, absolutely. I just, I look at the lineup and I was like, who could be dangerous in the future, And I'm looking at the guys similar to your height, and let me see if I can remember a few of them. Wesley Wizards. Would he be someone that can move up into the top 5, 3, 2, who knows? Or Logan Franklin? Because they're the only guys that can compete with you in height.
Yeah, Wesley's a difficult one. He always looks so crazy in pictures, but on stage, his shape isn't quite there. He looks great in like high shorts and like an Arnold photo shoot type thing, but on stage it doesn't always translate. And Logan Franklin, he's got very similar shape to me, but like I don't think it's going to be someone who's like almost like Chris, who beats Chris. I think it's going to have to be someone completely different who just destroys Chris to win. So I think Logan will definitely, as he puts on size, because he's still coming up for men's physique, he'll creep his way into the top 5, but I'm not sure if he'll be the one threatened for a champion.
Yeah, well, you might be right. It's just I'm just trying to put scenarios together and say what's possible. I think it's going to be very hard for any of the shorter guys to beat you. I mean, and like you said yourself, I mean, you don't think anybody's going to beat you as long as you competing anyways. You said that publicly, and you sound and you look like you mean what you say. So, but looking at the prep now for the Olympia this year, have you changed anything, or have you just stuck to the same guns and just trying to make the same improvements?
I've pretty much stepped to the same kind of routine I've been in. I'm on the same training split, training in the same fashion, just doing what I'm doing. I kept my body weight my body fat a little bit leaner this year, and I weigh a little bit more than I did the year before. So that's like a potential proof. You never really know what you're going to cut down to.
Right.
But I feel stronger and leaner than I did going into last year's prep, and I feel super confident as we're getting into this. My body's responding super well to food. I'm recovering well. I feel rested and good. So I'm really excited to get prep going and see.
So no injuries. You good to go?
I mean, I have a torn labrum in my shoulder, which is fucking me up. But I had that last year, and I had a torn hamstring the year before. So it's nothing new.
Wow, torn hamstrings. That's I had that 2 times. Well, not really torn, like micro tears, but that shit hurts. That's painful. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, if you look on some of my stage shot too, I'm almost lucky. My right hamstring tore and it didn't connect back up because I couldn't get surgery. So there's a hole in my hamstring.
Oh, really? So it came off. So it came off.
Oh, half of it did, yeah.
Oh.
And there's still a hole there. So if you look at my back double, it honestly makes it look like gnarly. Like it looks good. It looks like there's a new hamstring. And it's my back leg too. So it's like this muscle popping out. But it's just because I tore it. So it worked to my benefit.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better not to talk about injuries, before a show, because, that's when people start looking for it,
Yeah.
Talking about Breon. Breon has been, I talked to him last week, actually. I was in Dallas. We did the Meet the Olympians, kind of like a press conference, like at the Olympia, similar to it. You had all the Olympians but you.
Stuck in Canada.
Yeah, stuck in Canada. And I asked Breon, because I know Breon's got to make weight, and I think he sacrifices muscle to make weight in Classic. Yeah. So I asked him, I said, Breon, why are you not going into the 212, Because I thought, if I don't want to say this because I don't want him to think that I'm thinking the wrong way. If I was Breon in his shoes, and he thinks he was at his best last year, and if I not only can't beat you, but end up in third, I think I would consider, not losing, 5-6 pounds of extra muscle and maybe try 212, where I can just get as big as I want to and don't have to worry about making weight. How do you see that?
I mean, it depends on what his goals are, If he doesn't
his goals is straight up coming to beat you. And he wants his title back.
Yeah, I mean, if he's focusing on me, then his eyes are on me. That's his own. That's kind of an issue to me. He should be focusing on him to come in like he needs to be. But if that's all he cares about, then it's what he should be doing. So if he doesn't want a 212 or he doesn't think he'll be as competitive in 212, then there's really no point in switching over. But I agree with you. If I was moving backwards in places and struggling that much to make weight and I had no room for improvement, I was just kind of showing up the same every year because you can't grow anymore, I would have to take a double look at it and really think what I want.
Yeah. It sounds harsh, but I'm just, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I said, how much better can you get to beat this guy who's on a run, who's getting better the next 4 or 5 years, just looking at your age. You're 26 years old. You ain't even close to your peak. Your peak ain't even you don't even see the light yet. So and Breon is what? Breon was he 39, 40?
I think he's 40 now. I'm not.
Yeah. So, it's yeah, okay. Well, I mean, he wants to give it a try. I mean, I think at the end of the day, some people just need to hope that you come in off, which, can happen. Nobody is 100% safe, when it comes to that. So maybe they're waiting for you to make a mistake, Have you ever thought about going into the Open? Because a lot of people talk about Chris Bumstead will probably do very well in the Open. What do you think?
I mean, I've thought about it. It's just not something that interests me, especially right now, where I feel like I'm just catching my groove in Classic Physique and enjoying it so much. Why would I think of something outside of what I'm doing currently? I'm just grateful and excited to be where I'm at. I don't really need anything more than that. I've thought jokingly about jumping into an open show as I am, maybe later on in my career, just to see how it would do, and partly for the fans because there's so much talk about it. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. And the way I'm monitoring some of my health issues now is by my health and doing as little as possible in the bodybuilding realm and keeping things minimal, I guess. I think I'd have to push those limits a little bit more to go into the Open. And that's not really worth it to me, especially when I'm so happy where I'm at. So.
Yeah. I think you do really well in the Open. I think, then with the popularity that you have, which would help you tremendously, of course, and it's so good to see that someone like you who is in my eyes, and on paper, I would almost say, the most popular guy in the IFBB Pro League today. Okay, and it's not like you trying hard. It's like it's something about you that people just understand and see that you are kind of like a natural. You're not trying super hard to be the most popular guy. It just happens to I don't know. People just love what you do, man. What do you think? What's the reason for all that?
I don't know. I kind of get this question a lot.
Do you feel what I'm saying? Can you feel it that you get more likes, more hits, more views than anybody?
I mean, logically, I see that, then I get a lot of attention on social media and around and stuff, but I don't feel it. No, I don't really feel like it's different than anyone else when you walk around and they're just excited to see a high-level competitor.
Well, I'm looking in from the outside. I can see it. It's obvious.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh no, I'm just keeping it real. It's obvious.
Yeah, no.
And it's not your fault. I mean, you obviously have something that a lot of people, you inspire probably a tremendous amount of people, because, and I talk to others from the industry. I say, what do you think it is that makes people just go for Chris Bumstead? And they some people say, yeah, it's probably because they think that this is the physique that they can achieve. It's more achievable. I was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe it has anything to do with, if somebody thinks he can achieve the same physique. It's just that, I know, people relate to you, I think. They kind of relate to you, You would probably be, I call you the poster boy. I call you the Classic Physique poster boy, and I think that Classic Physique is on a track to get very, very popular, and I think you play a major role for that. You know, I think that has a lot to do with you, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Classic Physique people think. I mean, realistically, it is more attainable, and more masses will kind of enjoy it for that sense. But I think when I've thought about this before, people have asked me why I think I was able to get more attention or like stuff like that. And I think it's because the way I was like raised and the friends I've kept getting into this industry and getting higher up in it, none of that has changed. Like I still live in the small town of Ottawa. I like to hang out with my parents on the weekend. My sister is one of my best friends. My girlfriend and I don't really do much. We just chill. We're very just normal people, and we don't try and pretend otherwise. Just because we can travel sometimes and we compete at a high level doesn't mean we need to act like we're different people. And I think people kind of respect that. I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. I'm just a normal dude. I love working out. I love eating shitty food when I love eating shitty food. I like playing video games. We're just living life, and I like to share the process of it. And people are like, wow, I do some of this shit too. Like, it's cool to see someone.
Yeah, and you're not very flashy at all. You know, you're just down to earth. And people respect it, and they appreciate it. And I see that, you know, I see that. Did your girlfriend move from Phoenix to Canada? Or she's just stuck there?
She's kind of stuck here, but no, she's been living with me for at least a year now. So
a little
bit. We were back and forth for a while, but she's been living with me now. We're just kind of figuring out where we want to be for the next step.
Any future plans to get married or something, or is this too early?
I'm still working on that.
Yeah, we still need a couple of holidays to see. So now, because you said you and your sister are best friends. Your sister is Iain Valliere's girlfriend, right?
Joe Weider's Olympia here in Orlando, Florida. A little bit strange coming out of Las Vegas for all of those years.
Good evening, and welcome to the event that nearly never happened.
There's been an absence of a particular group of people on this stage that are back tonight. Tonight I'm here to say, welcome back to Miss Olympia.
A wife, yeah.
A wife, I'll tell you, married. Talk to me about you working with Iain. Did you guys work together before he met your sister, or did all that happen afterwards?
No, that's how I met Iain. They started dating, and I was super into the gym, but didn't know much about bodybuilding. And they were together, and I was like, Iain was kind of famous in our city. He's been the biggest guy for a while. So I'm like, holy fuck, like, Melissa's dating like the big Jack guy. I'd like tell my friends he came over for dinner and shit. And he was this huge human that I had like never seen before.
So you met him through your sister. That's how that happened. Okay.
Yeah, probably first time I met him without like him coming over for his first like dinner to meet the parents. And I was like, probably the first time I met him. And I guess he just saw me, my love for training, and he saw like my potential as a young kid in high school, like getting strong and putting on muscle, and was like, you should try competing. Like, I can help you get into it. And he coached me for my first show, which I won, and I loved the whole process of it all. And he's been my coach for every show since, and we've kind of grown together through the industry.
Yeah. So is he just doing your as a coach, or do you guys train together too?
We train together sometimes, but not all the time. And then we kind of just bounce each other off ideas for my off season. I do a lot of that myself because like we hang out a lot, so I know what he's doing, I know what I'm doing, we just talk about it. And then when prep comes, that's when he like sends me a plan and I follow it, and it's a little more strict.
It's good to see that you guys are close and both of you guys in different categories, but both of you guys doing really well. And it's good to see Iain doing well too, because he moved into the top 7 at the Olympia, which is a big deal in the Open.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that he is also with, and I talked to him about this, that him, Hunter, Nick Walker, and all these guys will be the future of the Open category. So what is it like, preparing for the Olympia basically at the same time, and still, having him as a coach, You know, is it easy for him to help you while he's getting ready for the same show, or does it just work hand in hand?
Yeah, I mean, people always ask him, like, is it hard, like, coaching Chris while you're getting ready? And his answer is always no, and I don't feel like it ever is. He just, we've been working together for so long now that it's so easy. He can, like, see me at the gym, and he knows exactly how much I weigh and how I look, and, like, that he doesn't even need to ask anymore. But when we discuss things, he just knows how to do it, and he trusts me to do it, and it's super simple. He's like, okay, change this today. I'm like, okay, changed, and then we move on. But it's honestly fun to have someone that you're going along the process with, like side by side, who's helping you with it and being like everything you're feeling, they're feeling, kind of going through it, getting ready for it, nerves, excitement, whatever it is. And then when you show up and you're like, we're getting our tan together and doing the shit together, it makes it a lot of fun. He's been an amazing big brother to me, and it's been awesome, really, I guess. And one year, the three of us got to compete at the Olympia together, and that was a really cool experience I'll always remember.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. I mean, I see Iain is putting in the work, too, for this year's Olympia, and I see him doing a lot of basic, like deadlifts, a lot of stuff for back, and I think we'll see a much improved Iain this year at the Olympia. He needs to qualify first, So
he needs to qualify. He's doing Tampa, which I think is in 6 weeks or something. It's coming up, but it's been really cool to watch his journey too, because he's pretty young considered of the open
what is
guys.
it, 29?
And he's 30 now. He just turned 30. But I really believe that he just caught his groove last year too.
Yeah,
he made some mental switches again in himself. He was the most consistent guy ever. He had the physical stuff down. He made some mental switches, and he's a little more like in love with it again. And I think he's just really catching his stride. I've seen him just kill himself for the last year to be even better. And I saw him yesterday posing, and it was like a big window behind him, and it just kind of blacked out his physique. And I'm like looking, I'm like, what the fuck is that? But he looks even bigger and crazier than he did last year. So I'm really excited for him to get on stage and see how it looks.
Where do you see him going? How far do you think he can go?
I mean, I can definitely see him in the top 5 for sure. I mean, it depends how, like, you never know when, like, I don't think another Philly will show up for a very long time, if ever. But, like, it happens. But I can definitely see him being in the top 5 and getting up there in a few years. So,
yeah. I think there's going to be a few guys that, and I say this every time, almost on every podcast I talk to with guys. I said, this is the new crop. I can't believe I'm saying the new guys, even though he's been at the Olympia already 2 times, and he's only 30 years old, so he's going to be there for another 10 years, easy, which means him, Nick Walker, Sergio, Hunter Labrada, these guys are going to be the ones battling for the top spots when the older guys is going to slowly move out, which is going to happen soon. You'll see some generation switching pretty soon. But we're going to have a few spots open this year for 1 or 2, with Phil being out, Dexter's being out. Who wasn't in the top 6 last year, but who was usually a top 5, top 6 competitor. So there's going to be a couple of spots open. Now,
is Phil guaranteed out this year?
Yeah, I feel he's definitely not doing it this year.
Yeah,
he's definitely not. I mean, even if he hasn't retired officially, but I saw him. He looks good, but he's definitely not preparing for a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Would he be able to do it in the next 4 months? I think he absolutely could. But I doubt it. It's not. I don't think Phil's coming back this year. I mean, I don't even think Phil's coming back regardless, period. But I don't think, definitely not this year. So there's going to be some spots available, and who are the newer guys are going to be the ones, claiming those spots. Because, I mean, if I talk to Nick Walker, he thinks he can definitely be in the top 5.
Yeah.
So and it's going to be good to see, because Iain's got to qualify. He's doing Tampa.
Yeah. August 7th or something.
So is that the last show to qualify for the Olympia? Or no, Texas is the week after, I think.
Yeah, Texas, I think for bodybuilding, Texas will be the last one. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 more shows in Europe. There's Portugal and Spain. So
and they're later than Texas?
I think Portugal is coming up in like 4 weeks. And Spain, I don't even know. I'm talking about something I don't even know. I'm sure it's still qualifying for this year, though. but I don't know exactly the date of Spain. You know, I know Nathan De Asha is talking about Portugal. No, he's talking about Spain. So basically nobody out of the names that we know, I mean, there's going to be plenty, I think, open guys coming from all over Europe, but there's nobody with a name that we know of that's doing Portugal, you know, so. And I know Iain was planning on doing the Toronto, which was postponed to December.
Yeah.
So that kind of changed his plans up. So he has to go. He's going to have to go for broke. You know.
I think he wants to. He feels great right now, and I think he just wants to kind of get that stage experience and show it off.
It's going to be. It's somebody staying home.
Someone good will be staying home this year. Yeah.
Yeah. This is unbelievable. Somebody who's really good, who is an Olympia guy, who is a potential top 6 guy, is staying home.
Yep.
Who do you think it's going to be? If you look at the guys, we got supposedly Akeem is doing Puerto Rico this week.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we can't forget we still got Rolly.
Yeah, Rolly's still got to pop in somewhere.
So he's gonna have to put his name on the list somewhere. I think he's gonna do Tampa.
You think Tampa?
I think so. I think he's gonna do Tampa.
I feel like because he's over in the East right now, right?
I don't know. I mean, he was in Dubai, so I heard he was in Dubai. I saw a video saying he's in Dubai. Usually when they leave from Kuwait, they got to go through Dubai to get over here.
Yeah.
So I think he did that Dubai stay. So I don't think he's in Kuwait now. I think that's over with. I don't know.
He might do something like Portugal then or something before coming overseas.
Do you think that he? Nah.
I don't know.
Which would be, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I asked Brandon, because he was at the Meet the Olympics this week, and he wouldn't say what show, because they know. He wouldn't say it. So it's obviously, they want to bring that shock factor somehow. But wherever he goes, he's going to have to do one of the shows to qualify, or even more. Maybe he's doing Tampa and Texas. Who knows? Because would you just do one show and then just, if you qualify, then just not compete anymore? Or would you continue and do the shows available just to make that money?
It depends where I'm at in my career. Like right now, all I care about is winning Olympia.
Yeah, for you. I mean, I'm talking about as an open guy now who has to qualify.
I would probably do more than one show.
Yeah.
Before I ever went to the Olympia, I competed at 2 shows back to back just because I was there and I was ready.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Olympia getting $400,000 and then the Classic Physique? What's the first prize?
I got 30 last year.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that?
I mean, we're a new division. I don't compete for money. I've never been someone who cares what the check's going to be at the end of the day. I want to make my own money in my own way, my own business. Yeah. And I'm there to win, be the best in the world. Yeah. So I don't really think about it. I think it'll go up. I think people can see how popular Classic Physique is. Yeah. Or once we pay our dues, show how excited people are about it, I think it will go up. So.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it will go up sooner than later. I have a feeling that it'll go up real fast. So what else you do for money? What do you do? What businesses do you have?
A few things, like the classic sponsors and everything. Okay. I have some new ventures that are underway, which I'm not really ready to talk about yet. Okay. Yeah. I also have a training app, which has been really successful. We have just an app that gives you new workouts every day and a few training splits to follow, one of them being the exact one that I'm doing.
Okay.
And then I do some clothing drops. So we make custom merch and fun stuff where we sell. They're not huge, a few thousand items every couple months or so. And we're working on expanding that.
A few thousand a month? That's compared to some of the other guys.
I mean, it does well, yeah. We have a lot of fun with it, but we're not pushing. We're working on expanding that at the moment. Yeah. Just kind of having, it's a process that I kind of enjoy, the back end, the business, kind of creating stuff and advertising and all this stuff. It's kind of a fun twist to it because bodybuilding's not a 24/7 job. True, I feel like it's more my mind can occupy. So kind of been doing stuff like that.
What do you think? How many more years you got in you before you say, listen, you don't have to be 40 to retire. So what do you think?
Oh yeah.
Perfect scenario for you. What do you have, if you look into the future, where do you see yourself retiring with how many titles?
I really don't know.
You never thought about it?
I mean, of course I've thought about it, but I also know that I don't like looking into the future too far when I'm really happy with where I'm at right now. If everything in front of me is going good and I want it, I just want to be present here and enjoy it. of course it's crossed my mind, and I would like to get at least 5 championship wins under my belt. And then if I get to a point where I'm kind of, my head's not in it and I'm like, I've done what I came here to do. I got no more here. Like I'm good. I'm not going to keep competing just because for the sake of competing. There's more to life that I am excited to do afterwards. So just whenever my mind's not in it 100%, and I'd like to step down on top, obviously. I don't want to be pushing my limit too far. So when the time is right, I'm sure I'll know.
Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I would probably tell myself, what the most Olympia wins is 8?
Yeah, but that's open. This is the classic.
It doesn't matter. If you win classic 8 times, that means you dominated the 8 years. It doesn't matter what category. You're still the best. You have to think about this, man. It's still the best of the best in classic physique on your stage. Just because the prize money is not the same doesn't mean the competition is easier. Because
it's a different accolade. It's like comparing Tom Brady to LeBron James with their rings. I know, different divisions. So
yeah. Well, you're just too humble. I believe that the classic physique competition is stiffer than in the open.
It's tight for sure.
Yeah, because there's in the open. You can see there's a few people that just set themselves apart from the rest. And in classic, there's so many guys coming up. There's new guys coming in. I see, you can just go through Instagram and look at classic guys that haven't even competed in the Olympia yet, where you can say, damn, you can make a case for these guys to stand next to some of the guys and really look really well. So
for sure,
I think it's really close. All right, give me your prediction for this year's Classic Physique Olympia. Just from... You don't have to go into details. Just give me a top 5 for this year.
Does it have to be in order or just a guess?
If you can put it in order, be fine. If not, I understand. Try to give me the top 5 in order.
All right. Takeaway number, Chris Bumstead, first place.
Yeah.
Between second and third, I think it could be Brian Jones and Terrence.
So you got Brian Jones up there this time.
I think Brian's young and hungry, and he'll make the improvements.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think he will.
Okay.
And I know Terrence is young and hungry, and he's been making the improvements. I think Breon will be up in 4th or 5th. And then if Steve comes in like I think he will, I think he'll be up there. He might even be higher. It's hard to say when he hasn't competed in a few years.
Okay.
I know Alex is likely to be up there. DeAndre Campbell's also really good. I'm horrible at putting these things together.
I know, because that's why it's so hard, because there's so many good guys. There's really so many good guys. But I'm sure Brian Jones would love to hear this, man. He can't wait to hear this. I know it. Because he's right here from Arizona. He trains out here.
Really?
We train out of the same gym, And last year,
feel him. Yeah.
Last year when he was on the stage, I've never met this guy. We trained at the same gym. I've never even ran into him.
Didn't even know who he was.
I know who he was, but I never met him in person. And I see him at the Olympia. And I remember I was commentating, and then I said, "Yeah, this guy trains at the same gym." And I got him on the podcast afterwards. He's a real cool dude. That was his first Olympia. Placing top 5.
Crazy,
which is crazy in a lineup like this. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Listen. It was an honor talking to you. I love the way you just present yourself, and the way you are, the way you stay down to earth. Man, keep doing what you're doing, champ, because you're on the right track. To be not only a dominant champ, but maybe the most dominant in his category. Because the way it looked last year, and if you can continue doing what you're doing, and at 26, I have a feeling that this is not stopping anytime soon. So for that, I believe that you will probably be with us for a long time, doing what you do best. That's collecting first place checks. Hopefully they up the prize money for you, man. So you're going to make it all a little bit more worth it. Because at the end of the day, I know you're not doing it for the money, but would you say no to it?
Oh, no, of course.
That's what I'm saying. I remember when they upped the prize money, they opened from $300,000 to $400,000, and that nobody knew it. That happened literally before they gave the award. You remember when David Pecker took that big check and said, "Oh, you know what? Cost $300,000 and put $400,000." It's like all of a sudden now you just won the Olympia.
Yeah.
You think you're going to get 300,000 next year, he's give you an extra 100,000.
Another 100K. Yeah. That's not a bad moment for sure. We get up a little bit.
I'm standing there. I was like, God damn. I mean, why not just take the 100,000 and give it to the guys that didn't make any money? You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about those guys. So listen, man, don't injure yourself, man. I wish you all the best with your prep. Thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to you kicking ass.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me on, and appreciate all the kind words. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
For sure, man. And tell Iain I said what's up.
Will do.
All right, brother. Take care, my man.